Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today for my TED Talk on Genius Hour and my firsthand experience. Now, Genius Hour was something that I encountered for the first time back in September in a technology course that I was enrolled in at Brock University. I'd never heard of such a thing before, and I was instantly worried that I was going to have to be smart, even possibly genius level smart, for 1 hour a day each day. What a task. I found out rather quickly that's not exactly the case. Genius Hour, in fact, is time that's specifically set aside during the day or in the classroom to learn what you want to learn something that you're passionate about. What a novel idea. You choose the topic, you choose the content, and you choose how you want to learn. There are 3 rules that are associated with Genius Hour. First, the project must be approved. Second, there needs to be research involved. And third, at the duration of the project, it needs to be presented or shared. Simple, right? And fun. Just wait and see. So now let's take a look at my firsthand experience with Genius Hour. So I'm going to share a quote with you from Michael Bamberger of Sports Illustrated, who once said about the golf swing that is hypnotically robotic, thoroughly repeatable. For those of us that have golfed before, we know just how true this is. You get up, you hit the ball once, you hit it a second time, and you put it in for a 3. Easy, right? At worst, you're making a par 4. Okay, let's be real here. This doesn't always happen. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's human error. Maybe it's that golf's hard. I don't know. However, I thought about this and realized that he does have a bit of a true statement here. So therefore, my question for Genius Hour was born. So my question is, if the golf swing is really robotic, then should I not be able to swing both right-handed and left-handed with equal success? The more I thought about it, I realized this is a great question, and I set out my goal. My goal is to par a par 3, so I need 3 shots to make par, right-handed, and then left-handed. So with this goal in mind, we're going to take a look at the breakdown of a golf swing, step by step. So if you don't mind following me to the range, I'll walk it through for you. The golf swing is really just a series of different movements, so let's break it down here. I'm going to start at address, spread my feet apart, get into a nice athletic stance. I'm going to bring the club back to here, all the way up, turning my body, pointing my shoulder down at the ball. I'm going to drive my hands back down and come through the ball and finish up top just like this. So now with this knowledge, I set out to do the same series of motions, just the opposite way. I'll be honest though, it was very difficult at first. I was doing something really counterintuitive to what I'm used to. Swinging the opposite way is not easy. I feel like it'd be the equivalent of trying to write left-handed, if you're right-handed, really fast with the equal success and clarity that you do when you write right-handed. It's not so easy. My body was just not used to doing it that way. I was not structured, I had no form, and I literally felt like a fish out of water, just flopping around out there. No structure in my motion at all. However, I was determined to make it work, and I kept working on my form and trying to just make contact with the ball. Simple as that. I actually did begin to make some contact and started to feel happy about that, but I had no clue where the ball was going. Right, left, dribbling in front of me, anywhere. Not a clue. However, I kept working at it and began to hit the ball more frequently. Actually, started to begin hitting it on every swing. And I began to launch the ball high now, not just dribbling on the ground in front of me. This was a great start for me. Now granted, this progression in my swing was not without other challenges. I would be on the driving range and I would have groups of people staring at me. Even other participants on the driving range turning around to look at me as they'd see a divot flying by and the ball still sitting at my feet. Like I said, I was feeling awkward, like a fish out of water. Swinging the club, sometimes hitting the ball, more often than not missing the ball. It was difficult for me to get over mentally that I could golf right-handed just fine, but could not left-handed, and having these people judge me. It was tough too, knowing that they judged me on what they saw in this instant and not what they knew in the broader scope of my abilities here. So judging what they saw in the here and now was first very embarrassing, and honestly I wanted to stop, or at least go late at night to the driving range when nobody, or at least only a few people, would be around. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that I should not be ashamed for what I was working towards. I was trying to achieve a goal, working towards something that I was passionate about, something that I really cared about, and I wasn't going to let my perception of what these other people were thinking of me keep me from achieving this goal. So I kept working on my swing, and I began to get a little bit more consistent, and with that consistency, my confidence grew. I did hit the ball now on every swing. I got the ball launched high up in the air now, not just dribbling in front of me, and I could actually hit it fairly straight. I could finally start to aim and actually hit the ball in the direction, or at least close to, where I wanted the ball to go. This was a huge improvement for me, both physically in my swing and mentally as well, to get over that roadblock. After realizing some success on the range, I decided that it was time to go out onto the course and play a few holes. My practice actually seemed to be paying off, which was a nice surprise. I know firsthand that going from the driving range out onto the course can be two completely different stories. On the driving range, you can be hitting it dead straight, exactly where you want to, every single shot. You get out onto the course, not so much. You're chunking it. You're hitting it into the trees. You're hitting it into the sand. You're hitting it anywhere but where you want it to go. Luckily for me, all this time on the range paid off, and the research that I did on the swing as well really paid off. So while I was not scoring nearly as well as I would right-handed, my scores were respectable, and I felt that I was able to golf adequately left-handed. Again, this was a huge relief. I felt that I had come a long way from wanting to give up or not wanting to golf in front of people to actually now being able to golf left-handed and feel confident doing so. So with my growing confidence, I decided that after a couple outings, it was time to actually set out and achieve my goal. So just as a reminder, my goal was to par a par 3, so only take 3 shots, both right-handed and left-handed. The course that I was at has 4 par 3s, so therefore 4 chances at making a par, both right-handed and left-handed. The first few holes were a little rough. I think I was concentrating way too much on the number 3 and not focusing on making a good swing. On the first one, I made a 5 on a par 3, so 2 over par, not great. Next one, I made a 4, so getting a little bit better. But again, I was really focusing on the number 3 and not on my swing, not on making a good turn. This is the most important thing. So as I headed to the third par 3, I decided, let's shake it off, let's relax, couple deep breaths, we'll try to compose ourselves and work on making a good pass at the ball. So making a nice takeaway, a nice follow through to impact. So sure enough, my drive was really good. It landed a little bit short of the green, but it got launched nice and high and landed soft. So then I had to chip it. Hopefully chip it close enough to the hole that I could just tap it in for a par 3. I chipped it, but I stubbed it a little bit. So I hit the ground first, and it rolled out onto the green, so at least I still had a chance for par. However, I did have a long putt. So let's go ahead and take a look at how I did here. I did it. I completed my goal and was obviously very happy about it, reverting back to my childhood and celebrating with the NHL 94 goal celebration. Grabbing my putter, couple fist pumps over the head, what a great feeling. So, mission accomplished. But what did I learn through all this experience? I learned that Genius Hour projects are wonderfully useful. This one offered me a break from my day-to-day life and allowed me to return to my responsibilities, school, work, and home life, refreshed and motivated. Life, as we know, can get unbelievably hectic, and I have a lot of responsibilities, just as everyone else does too. Taking time out of my day to work on something that I was passionate about not only allowed me to take a break from everything else, but it also kept me motivated in other areas of my life and with the Genius project itself. However, the biggest thing that I took away from this project was not to judge other people and their skills. Struggling on the range really opened up my eyes to what it would be like for a beginner to pick up golf, or for anyone to pick up a new skill for that matter. I felt embarrassed, ashamed, and really put out. I felt like I did not belong, and I was getting really frustrated. However, I am glad that I stuck it out and would like to make more of an effort in the future to help encourage those working on skills, new or old, to stay motivated, happy, and encourage them to continue what they're doing. And also to ensure that they are enjoying every moment of it, just as I did. So, thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this TED Talk, and I challenge all of you to pick up a Genius Hour project moving forward. Thank you.